Getting set for the start of Moto number 2, and you get a good look at Damon Bradshaw. And what a great finish for him. A 3rd place in Moto number 1. I believe that matches his season's best since coming back, getting stretched out. And David, I've been doing a little math right now. If Jeremy happens to win this, Emig has to finish 3rd or better in order to take the championship battle on to Delmont.
Well, that puts a lot of pressure on him. It's also pressure on Jeremy. It's not that easy to go out and win another moto. I mean, he looks like from the first moto that he'd be able to do that. But like I said, the start is crucial, and there's a lot of, you heard Dowd say how weird the track is today, and that could take its toll on Jeremy. But Emig has definitely got to go out there and perform well, and is coming from as far behind as he did in the first moto. I mean, he really put together a pretty good ride with bent handlebars, and you can bet he's a little irritated. Remember Millville, he was a little irritated in the first moto when he had problems there. Came back very strong in Moto number 2. Well,
the start very important right here. You get a good look at the riders there getting set, waiting for the gate to drop. And now they're off. Let's see who makes it through. It looks like Jeremy's off to a pretty good start on the inside. Also, Emig, I see Emig in there. It looks like he's going to get the whole shot, but is it going to last very long?
Well, Emig looked like he cut all the way out across in front of Jeremy, tried to take the line away, but it didn't work out. Jeremy, a little bit more clever, held a better line to the next corner and overtook the lead.
So it is Honda followed by Team Yamaha.
Pretty much, yeah. Bradshaw and Dowd all right in tow, but Jeremy, once again, out to a good clean start. And at this point, you just want to make sure you don't take any weird lines. You don't try to go too wide looking for a smoother line. You just protect your line, not let anybody get underneath you. And after that first lap, you know where everything is, how the track has changed, and Jeremy should be able to hang on to that lead.
Now let me ask you a little something here, because you've got the 2 Yamaha teammates right there. You've got Dowd in 3rd, you've got Emig in 2nd in that championship hunt, trying to chase down McGrath, trying to salvage it, at least a chance when they go to Delmont. But you've got Dowd there. He finished 2nd. If he can get around his teammate Emig and then beat McGrath, he wins the overall. So do you think there's, what do you think they've been told?
Well, I don't think they really discussed a whole lot. I think probably the most important thing, now that you brought it up, is the championship. Yamaha would much rather win a championship than this race. So they're going to try to do anything they can to get Emig in the picture. And if these guys can come around and put a little extra pressure on Jeremy and sort of mess with him, then, you know, that, of course, they would encourage that. But Jeremy, I think, is too smart for that. He'll just do his own thing and continue to do what he's done all year, and that is to put the pressure on everybody else.
Well, right now, the pressure is being applied by Damon Bradshaw as he goes after his teammate, John Dowd. I guess you can still call them teammates. I mean, even though Damon doesn't really have a contract with Yamaha, he's still supported by Yamaha.
Right. Well, it's kind of like Jordan coming back to basketball. You know,
yeah.
He kind of does whatever he wants, and whatever number he wants to run, they just, they find him, but I don't think it matters too much. And then Bradshaw's in the same position. He's so well liked, and everyone was so encouraged to hear that he was coming back, especially Yamaha. They're going to let him do whatever he wants to do, and I'm sure they're all treating him like a teammate.
You think he's going to have... Oh, look at that. Dowd has a problem trying to negotiate that. It looks like he might have cased it, and he drops it and goes down, and he is losing positions by the handful. There must have been 4, 5, 6 riders passing there.
And Bradshaw was pretty good reaction time for him not to run over Dowd, because he was right there in that berm and committed, and he just had the right reaction time to get on the brakes a little bit and steer inside of him. But Dowd just got into that corner a little bit hot, front end went over the berm, and he tried to turn back inside of it, and didn't have any good traction there. That's the traction he talked about. The soil was kind of weird, and he got the best of him there.
Well, look at that. We talked about Ezra Lusk taking some strange lines. It almost looked like coming into that turn that he pulled right off of the course. This is a battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th, and you can see Dowd, after dumping it, he has dropped all the way back to the 7th spot. But you can expect that Kudrowski is going to try and put the heat on Dobb right here as he's trying to set him up for the pass, but Ezra Lusk is looking pretty good too. Take a look at our Honda field summary. Pick out your favorite rider in the top 10, and we'll be back with more right after this. ESPN Speed World welcomes you back to Binghamton, New York. A great battle shaping up for the 4th spot. James Dobb has it, but Mike Kudrowski wants it. He tries it on the inside to come up the hill, and man, he set him up perfectly for that, it looked like.
That was nice. He just put a little bit of pressure on him coming into the corner and forced Dobb wide, and then took the inside. Right here, Dobb trying to do something a little interesting to get back underneath him, but it looks like Mike's going to control that number 4 position for now.
And you might have just seen that other Yamaha, the blue and white one. That is John Dowd. He just flashed past Ezra Lusk and moved into the 6th spot. Lusk relegated back to 7. But look at this up front, David. You got Jeff Emick. He is now the leader. That's because Jeremy McGrath dumped it out there on the course just moments ago. And you can see Jeremy right behind him. He's already got it back up and is in hot pursuit.
Well, it's tough to recover, especially when you got a guy as fast as Emick that comes by you when you go down. It's tough to recover and get back into your rhythm. We talk about that zone. Well, maybe that crash interrupted it, and we'll see how good Jeremy is if he can recover and put a pass back on Emick.
But, you know, he really doesn't need to. It's only 3 points. He's leading it right now after the Moto #1 by 44 points. So Jeremy, as long as he keeps Emick in sight, is still in pretty good shape to win the championship.
Sure, but I think when you're that close, you know, you can see how aggressive Jeremy came around that corner. He's going to try and do anything he can to wrap up that title today. I mean, he could smell it. If he can win this moto and anything happens, you see how fast all these guys are going. If they can get around Emick, which Yamaha probably wouldn't allow, he could win that title.
Well, look at this. Bradshaw settling in at 3rd, but maybe not for long. Kudrowski has caught him, and John Dowd is putting on a furious charge. Remember, he lost it out there just a few laps ago, and he has already rallied back up into the 5th spot, and he is going to be putting the pressure on Kudrowski, who's trying to put the pressure on Bradshaw.
Right, well, that's going to force this pace to quicken, and right now, Bradshaw looks pretty strong. It doesn't look like they're really catching him and putting any pressure on him yet. But Damon, 2 motos in a row up front. That's good to see.
Yeah, and he hasn't crashed yet today. That's very good to see. Gosh, I hope I didn't just jinx him, you know?
Well, me too. The guy's had enough problems since his return, and he's shown a lot of speed. I mean, this sounds like a broken record. I keep saying he's had a lot of problems, but he's shown the speed that he can run up front. He hasn't shown the speed to win a moto. I don't think he's got the speed that Emick has displayed, or LaRocco when he was healthy, and definitely that of Jeremy McGrath. But the season's not over yet, and next season's a whole different story, and that's where he's really putting all his focus.
You know, just seeing one of the turns just a little bit ago kind of brought back some childhood memories. As there's a pass now as Dowd gets around. Childhood memories of plowing the field. It looked like our backyard when it would get plowed just before you planted the garden. But there is the move. For the 4th spot, John Dowd has gotten around Kudrowski, and what a ride he is having. Remember, he finished 2nd to McGrath in Moto #1. Now that he's gotten around Kudrowski, he will set his sights on Bradshaw, his teammate.
And Bradshaw, the way things sit right now, is looking at a 2nd overall. If he can hang on and keep that thing on 2 wheels, stay ahead of Dowd, which would be his best finish of the season. And that'd be nice to see some progress towards the end of the season and give him a little more confidence going into the offseason, into next year.
You know, Jeremy talked about what he was going to do during the offseason. What do you figure Bradshaw will do?
Well, he'll probably want to take some time off and have fun, fly his plane, maybe spend a little bit more time with Hannah, but you can bet he'll be doing a lot of testing and a lot more riding to try to make up for that little bit of speed that he seems to be lacking right now in terms of winning races.
But you guys don't really have that much time off. There really is no offseason, is there?
No, not at all. These guys are racing probably 30, 35 times a year. They do races in Europe, the World Championship Supercross Series. They do the Japan Grand Prix. The Japan Supercross, of course, is a huge one. All the testing they do overseas, and they don't get much of a break at all.
I tell you what, right now, Jeff Emick's not getting a break, because if he had a rearview mirror, it would be filled with Jeremy McGrath coming up the hill, trying to draw alongside Emick to take over the top spot. Remember, Jeremy took the lead away from Emick on the very first lap, and now he takes it again after dumping it. McGrath, just unbelievable. Well, the guy comes way, but he is definitely in that zone that you talked about.
Definitely. You can see he did a little cross up over that plateau, pulled the tear away, looked over at Emick as if to say, you know what, don't even think about it. Look at the lines he's choosing. Jeremy's just floating over every hole. Look at him. He's so much more superior than these guys. It's got to be very frustrating. Here's another look at this pass. He squares the corner. Emick does too, but he squares a little tighter, finds a little bit better traction, then he just angles down the inside and just cuts Emick off. And there's nothing Emick could do about that. They both charged into the corner, but Jeremy just positioned himself perfectly.
He really is an awesome rider. It's a shame there's not a whole lot of competition out there.
Well, there would be with Henry. There would be with LaRocco. Albertine at certain times, I think, at certain tracks would be quick. Emick has ridden fantastic. I don't mean to downplay his season. He's had a fantastic season. But Jeremy this year is just on a roll, and I don't think anybody can stop him.
Well, it doesn't look like they will stop him in Moto number 2 after he got around Emig. He's starting to pull away as you take a look at our Honda Field summary. Back with more in a moment. Another superb job as always. And speaking of superb performances, John Dowd, remember he fell early in this Moto, and now he has chased down his teammate Damon Bradshaw and is making a serious challenge for that 3rd position.
Well, he sure is, and I talked earlier about how difficult it is to fall down and get back up and find that pace again. Well, Jeremy did it, and Dowd's doing the same thing. He's got a lot of pressure from Kudrowski right here, but Dowd seems unaffected by it, and they've definitely caught Damon.
Right now, Kudrowski would like to get around and make a Yamaha sandwich for just a little while, get between the 2 Yamahas. He's going to try a little different line there, but it doesn't seem to pay off, although, man, he might have picked up a bike length.
Yeah, maybe so. You see all that dust kicked up right there. That's from Bradshaw. He doesn't really like to ride the line everyone else does. He likes to pick his own. He's very creative, and sometimes all you got to do is move over a foot to miss a rock that you might land on or something like that. And right there, Dowd makes a little mistake, and Kudrowski goes right by. Kudrowski triples that. It was a real easy pass for him, just a big mistake by Dowd. And Dowd still seems like he hasn't recovered from that. He's reaching up, fiddling with something, maybe with his goggles, and you see all the time he's lost in the process.
I'll tell you what, let's slow it down and take another look at it, David.
Well, Dowd has a tendency to sort of dangle his foot in the corners, and I thought maybe his foot touched the ground, his knee came up and smacked the handlebar and stood him up, but that wasn't the case. He just didn't stay leaned into the berm long enough and overshot it and lost all his momentum towards that triple. Right
now, Kudrowski is in the 4th spot. He's got his sights set on Damon Bradshaw, who is riding along in 3rd. And Bradshaw's got to be really pumped. I mean,
well,
3rd place finish in Moto number 1. He's riding clean. He's near the front.
Well, that's got to be a great feeling, and it's been a while since he's been able to get away from a whole day without some kind of an incident. So this is an excellent.
Oh, no. Oh, gosh, Bradshaw down. Kudrowski is down. And, oh, gosh, Dowd comes in, and that's Brian Manley, isn't it? With
Looks
some
like Brian
problems.
Manley, yeah.
And just waylaid by 3 other riders. Holy cow.
All I can figure is that Manley, who was getting lapped here, it came up short on that double or triple, and that's a blind spot. The flagger's flag wasn't totally unwound. You see the one there on the stick.
Look at this.
It's rolled up. The flag's not doing that much. Bradshaw right into his back.
Oh.
Look at Bradshaw.
But the thing that looked worse to me is just coming up right now when Dowd comes over.
Head on. Oh. He just shoved him like a bull, shoving one of those clowns in the rodeo. No protection. Here's another angle. Kudrowski, just as he goes by, missed Manley with his foot peg by inches, and here comes Dowd.
And Manley, you saw he got up, although he looks very, very sore, he got himself off of the racing surface. And still yet another angle.
Bradshaw completely a somersault. And watch Kudrowski here with the throttle running wide open. He takes a pretty bad tumble.
There's not much more you can say about that.
Yeah, Bradshaw is on the far side of the racetrack. He doesn't look too good. You can see he's being surrounded by the Yamaha camp and holding his right wrist. Now, that's not a good sign. I don't like to see anybody holding a wrist. That took lusk out of this whole season pretty much, and that's the last thing Bradshaw needs right now.
Well, it looks like everybody is up. No serious injuries that we can tell at this point. Take a look at the Honda Field summary. Back with more from Binghamton right after this. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and John Kernan back for the final lap at Binghamton. And hey, David, we might see some fireworks because Jeff Emig, I think, is still within striking distance, although, well, maybe not.
Well, anytime you're that close to a rider, you're within striking distance. Emig has got the motivation and probably the anger at this point in the season to go ahead and challenge McGrath. But McGrath riding flawless today. Surprised me that he hasn't pulled away more, the way that he was riding. So that's a real a testament to how well Emig is riding the second moto, and I think a lot of that is emotion.
Well, quickly updating about the crash you saw just before we went to break. We don't have any reports of serious injuries, and so that's pretty good news, but I don't think we'll have a further report by the time we go off the air. But now a battle out on the track. In fact, one of the riders, Kudrowski, who was involved in that, is just about ready. Well, he is passed by James Dobb.
Well, Kudrowski, in that wreck, his exhaust pipe was knocked out of the cylinder, so as he goes by, we're all plugging our ears, and he's low on horsepower.
I tell you, Jeff Emig wishes he had a little more horsepower right now, a little more something to try and catch Jeremy McGrath, who takes the checkered flag to beat Emig by about a second and a half. McGrath with the clean sweep. Man.
Turns around and gives Emig a thumbs up right there.
Yeah. Well, it was a good ride for Jeff Emig. Remember, he had problems in Moto #1 rally to a 7th place finish, but a strong run here in Moto #2 as he finishes second. And as you take a look at the rest of the top 10, Art Ekman has caught up